Right, you are listening to Rose Ed, the definitive soccer podcast. Me, Joe Forrester, here with Hannah East and producer Mike, as always. And this week, much like Nice and Marseille fans, Romelu runs riot, and is it time to let Arteta go? Kind of works, doesn't it? And as Gareth Bale scores his first La Liga goal in 2 years, we tried to stay away because we find out what makes the Welshman tick. Plus, we've got Euro Roundup, some transfer tidbits, and a look ahead to the Champions League draw. As I said, Hannah East is with me always. You right, Hannah?
I'm good, thanks.
You're in a very mischievous mood today.
I think I am, yeah. Well, I haven't got childcare at all this week because all schools and everything are shut. So my 5-year-old is in the room next door with 28,000 snacks and the contents promised to him of the Argos catalogue if he just keeps quiet for the next 30 minutes. So
we used to love the Argos catalogues. Is that still a thing? You go in and then you collect it from that weird counter?
Yeah, steal the blue pens.
They don't have that in the US. It's basically the way Argos works is you go in, you tell them what you want in the catalogue. They then go and get it from the back. So it's a shop with an added layer of interference for no reason. It's absolutely no purpose.
Yeah, what is the reasoning behind it? I've never understood it.
I can't work out any way because they've got just as many staff and there's as big a process. But I can't work out what the reason
is.
It
to stop?
It feels like really empty, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, I guess because you don't have anything on the shop floor, do you? So it's all just catalogue. It's not the most enticing shop, really, Argos, is it? You go in there, there's a massive floor with a few catalogues and screens and a massive counter. I
remember once I used to go out with a guy and he was like, "Oh, I've got you a really expensive ring for your birthday." And I knew it wasn't going to be an engagement ring, but I was like, "Oh, right, that's cute." He got me an Elizabeth Duke ring, but it was in the sale and my finger went green after day 3. So we broke up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I used to get that with my fake diamond earrings with the silver casing. Used to make my ear go green.
Oh, Joe.
The other little voice you can hear is producer Mike. Mike, again, you're in a different room and you're dressed a bit like you're in Brit gangster film and Danny Dyer vehicle, The Business.
Yeah, I'm sporting an Arsenal retro top today. I'm just lifting it up to show. Can you see the little badge there?
Well, you just look like you're dressed like a drug dealer from the 80s.
Yeah, essentially, that's what I was going for.
Anyway, let's talk about the Premier League. Romelu Lukaku had a great debut, Mike. Arsenal not looking so good. What are your thoughts after the weekend?
My thoughts are depression, anxiety, awfulness. To sum it up, yeah, it was an awful day at the office, and it's a pretty bad time for Arsenal fans at the moment. Lukaku just bullied our defence, and the worst thing is that we knew it was going to happen, but there was nothing in place to stop it happening. So yeah, it was terrible, but there is some light on the horizon, I think.
What's that?
Is there?
International break?
Well, hopefully get rid of your COVID cases, maybe.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I know that people saying it's an excuse that you had loads of first team players out, but we literally, the entire spine of our team wasn't there. Ben White was out. Thomas Partey obviously got an injury in a preseason game, which was, I can't remember if it was against Spurs or Chelsea, but why are we playing a preseason game against Spurs or Chelsea? It makes no sense. It's the most fiercely competitive rivalry that we have. But anyway, yeah, we had a lot of players out. But yeah, our preparation was affected, but it's plainly it's just not good enough. And yeah, the fingers will be pointed at Arteta ultimately because you look at the money spent, and yeah, there's not a massive amount of improvement to the first team, to the starting 11. There's improvements to the squad, but that's not really good enough when you're trying to make up a deficit from 8th place up to where they want to be, which is 4th. So,
do you want him out? Do you want him out, Mike?
I will never fully say that I really want a manager out because I always think support the manager until they're gone, essentially. But I would say that I wouldn't be disappointed or upset if they were to get rid of him, because the one thing about Arteta that I think is really, really let him down is that he hasn't implemented a discernible style of football yet. You don't really know what he's about. I'll draw comparisons to Nuno, even though his football will send you to sleep. At least they have a style about them, they have a defensive style, and it works against the bigger teams. Where Nuno and Wolves struggled a bit was against teams that they were expected to beat. So I expect them troubles to continue later on down the line. But the point is that when Klopp came in, he wanted to implement Gegenpress. that happened. Obviously, Pep has his own style of football. That was evident straight away, even if it didn't happen.
Jurgen.
Jurgen press. He implemented Jurgen press.
Yeah, that's a hybrid.
And the counter-attacking football.
Like a mouthwash.
But yeah, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, there was a style that you could see, even though it wasn't bringing results straight away. But with Arteta, I don't know what that is. Like, it's not a defensive style. There's not much like fluid attacking. Well, there's no fluid attacking going on whatsoever. So I think that's where he will be. That could be the nail in the coffin for him at the end of the day. Because if there's a project, like people keep saying, believe in the project. Well, it's like, what is the project? What is the vision? We don't know.
So do you agree with Joe then? If you think potentially, I know Joe joked about this, but do you need the international break? You need that recovery time. And do you think, are you hoping as a fan that Arsenal are kind of going to reset, learn from what's happened at the start of this season? It's only been a few weeks, anything can happen. They can change it round. Do you think that change is realistic?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because when you start the season so poorly, I almost think that goes out the window. Like if they lose to Man City, it could be 3 games in a row, and then after the international break, I think it's Burnley, Norwich, and then Spurs coming up. And if they lose in North London derby, I think it's one of them situations where they'll have to just do it. They'll have to get rid of him because they won't. Like the fans will turn. Like the fans were already booing at halftime and full time at the Emirates.
Yeah, which is it's a bad situation Chelsea, when fans are doing that on week 2, isn't it, to the manager?
Yeah, exactly. When every single other team got a lift by having fans back, like Arsenal were just the complete opposite. So
you're probably looking as well at that Norwich game and that Burnley game and thinking, well, it's important to get points on the board, reach that magic 40-point mark to keep you in the division. That's got to be part. That's got to be part of your thinking now, Mike.
No, it's not. I'm not going to answer that. I don't think that justifies an answer.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Romelu Lukaku's pretty good, isn't he?
I mean, he does. I said he was an Adonis last week, didn't I? I thought it looked phenomenal. And there was obviously going to be expectation and pressure on him. I don't look at him like he's a previous United player. He's obviously, as we've touched on a few times already in the podcast, like he's come back a more mature player, more experienced. He's got more credentials, and I think he credit to Chelsea. I think they've done what other Premier League teams, maybe in the top 6, should do. You identify that gap, you identify the type of player that you need, and then you go and buy them. It's very simple. But for some reason, a lot of the top teams are not identifying the gaps that they've got until it's too late, until it's almost like the fans are voicing it and chanting it and shouting and losing respect for the manager. And then that manager goes out, you get a new manager in, and that manager will just buy the player that the previous manager should have bought in the first place. I thought at the start of the season, I was like, Man City, they're going to, get smash the points this season. They may still do that, but I think Chelsea, as you said in week 1, Mike, they're the team to watch, and they've identified. We've established that already. Identified it, of course we have.
He's so pleased with himself that you gave him a little shout out there.
No, but it's true though. I can't believe how much I underestimated Chelsea. If you watch their performance at the weekend and looked at their bench,
they were class.
It's like, where was my head at the point of the start of this season? Why have I not got more Chelsea players, in my fantasy football?
Can I say, I also said Chelsea would win the league, but as with everything in this podcast, it's just, I feel like I'm your imaginary friend.
I don't think you did say that though, did you? Because you were so engrossed, like slagging Harry Kane off and saying, where'd you gonna go? What is the religious statement and all this? But Mike was the one that said, listen,
I think Mike who brought up the statement.
Look how wound up you get. But yeah, that's my take on Chelsea. I thought it was a fantastic performance at the weekend, and looking forward to watching them play for the rest of this season, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Spurs beat Wolves. I mean, to be honest, I thought Wolves could have and should have won it. Adama Traore had a really good chance to win the game, Mike, but it looks like he's going to be plying his trade soon at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What do you think of that?
Yeah, he was a menace, wasn't he? But much like Adama Traore, saw sort of, get into the box and scuffing it, which is what he did, and he could have actually, scored for Wolves, but he missed a sitter. You're looking at me like he didn't. He did.
No, he did. I agree.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, no, he did. Yeah.
I was waiting for something weird to come then, but you know what? Because there is a lot of chat that Nuno wants to sign him at Spurs. I would love him. I think He's such a dangerous player. And he reminds me of, and I'm really not comparing him quality-wise.
Love your comparisons.
But do you remember when Ronaldo was first at United and he was this kind of skinny beanpole lollipop merchant that all he kind of did was these little tricks, but it never really worked. And then he became much more direct, which to be fair, Traore is, but he also obviously went away and worked on his finishing a lot. And was just such a better player. Now, obviously, he's not Cristiano Ronaldo, but given how quick he is, given how strong he is, and also he's so good at running with the ball at his feet, technically he's very good until he's got a cross or a finish to produce. If you get him in training and work on his finishing, he could be well, as you said, Mike, a menace. Hannah, do you think he would do all right at Spurs?
Well, would Spurs be the right place to go? I mean,
yes.
I'm not sure. I mean, Spurs have done well in the last 2 games, but I think, there's potentially problems there. I'm not sure that Spurs would be the right team to go to. I mean, as a player, would you want to take... It's a bit of a risk going to Spurs right now, isn't it? It would be a risk to go to Spurs. It would be a risk to go to Arsenal as well. But
it would be mental to go to Arsenal.
Or Spurs as well, Joe. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence with that.
Disappointing day at the office for United, though, Hannah?
A little bit disappointed with the draw. The first 20 minutes, disappointment for sure for the team, for the performance. I didn't think that in the midfield, we had kind of defensive midfielders in there, and the ball was getting passed too much side to side with no sort of momentum going forward. I was hoping after the first week of smashing Leeds, I was like, we're going to have a lot of momentum going into this game, but I just didn't feel that we had enough bite, certainly for the first half. So I was a little bit disappointed with the overall performance, but we'll take the point. It's fine. We can progress and move forward from it. So wasn't massively disappointed.
Arsenal got City up next. Liverpool taking on Chelsea. It's a big game. Liverpool haven't really been tested so far. Be interested to see how they do because they have looked pretty good thus far. Also, worth probably pointing out, it is the Champions League draw this week. We're going to be telling you a little bit more about who's got who and what all that means and stuff next week. But just to let you know, there are 26 teams that have qualified for the group stage automatically, with a further 6 sides progressing via the playoff. Spain have 5 qualifiers, 4 through their finish in La Liga, plus Villarreal after winning the Europa League. Obviously, Chelsea are in it as well as defending champions. We'll tell you all about it next week. Right, I'm quite excited now because we have a moment of what I would consider to be rare professionalism on this show. And I feel a bit anxious about it because I've written an actual European roundup.
Have you?
Yeah, and I'm just a bit worried about looking at you two while I do it.
Well, it's probably best that I just keep quiet.
Well, it's quite normal content.
Okay.
So I'm just going to, just because people were interested in European football and we've got it in the blurb of the show. So I thought I may as well mention it, right? So Memphis Depay scored his first goal for Barcelona, salvage a 1-1 draw at Athletic Bilbao on Saturday. And Real Madrid and Levante had a 6-goal thriller, saw Gareth Bale's first La Liga goal since 2019. So that's exciting. And we'll be listening to...
That's a long time. Jesus Christ, Gareth.
He has been on loan for a year, though, so it's slightly misleading that. But he will be looking at his interview that he did in The Guardian this week. And let me tell you, it is really scintillating stuff. It's very much the Frost Nixon of 2021. Freiburg rose to second in the Bundesliga thanks to a gritty 2-1 win over Dortmund. It was a week of great debuts in Italy as Edin Dzeko was on target as Inter got their Serie A title title defence off to a flying start by thrashing Genoa 4-0. And Jose Mourinho is back. The bitch is back. Tammy Abraham got 2 assists and helped Roma make a winning league start under Mourinho with a victory over Fiorentina in a game that had 2 red cards. Also worth pointing out, there's been several fights in the Roma pre-season friendlies. So good to see that Mourinho hasn't lost any of his old edge. While in France, and I left the names in here intentionally because I like them, in France, goals from Ignatius Ganago and substitute Simon Banza gave Lens a 2-0 win at Monaco and piled the pressure on home manager Niko Kovac as both teams finished with 10 men in their league clash with champions Lille, and champions Lille maintained their winless start to the season after a draw with Saint Etienne. Right, everybody understand?
Yeah, totes. There's only a few stutters there, Joe. That was good. Well done. Proud of you.
Literally my job.
Me and Mike were like, don't speak.
So, do you know what? I might just streamline that for the next episode. I want to get the European football in, but let's not have too much.
That was good. That was great.
Really
do you like it, Mike?
Yeah, I loved it. It was very concise.
Another thing that was exciting this week that happened in European football, Nice took on Marseille, and there was I would say 50 to 100 man brawl on the pitch, which started after a Nice fan threw a bottle of wee at Dimitri Payet.
Was it actually a bottle of wee?
I think it was actual wee, actual human urine. Although I saw a video on Instagram this week that suggests that urine's quite good for you. So I don't know what you were so upset about.
Yeah, if you get stung by a jellyfish, it is.
Well, apparently, I watched 2 people on Instagram as well, gurgling each other's actually, and also wiping it on their face.
You watched something on Instagram where 2 people were gurgling each other's urine. What?
Pardon?
What?
It's what Joe gets up to in his spare time, guys.
Really? Your search history must be off the scale.
Somebody posted it on their story.
Yeah, of course it did. Yeah. Somebody just randomly posted it and you saw it. Yeah. At 2 a.m. last night.
But they swap cups of wee and then they like rub it on their face, brush their teeth with it. Stuff that people get. People make like breast milk flan and stuff, don't they? People get up to all
breast milk
sorts.
has got nutrients in it. Like loads of my friends have drunk my breast milk. Yeah.
No, they haven't.
Honestly, gone to Vodka Revs numerous occasions, quickly expressed, like, I've told you, I've got like a pressure washer when I've got kids, and sprayed milk into a shot glass. And rather than having the chili shot, it's like, who's got the breast milk? Yeah, it's a thing. It's really
you
good
are
for
mental.
you.
Hannah, can I just say?
My mother-in-law's drunk it. It's really good for you. It's full of bodybuilders buy it. I thought about selling it on the black market, but I didn't want to go too risque in case someone got like an infection or something. But it's really good.
That's what you're worried about.
But to go back to you searching for people drinking and rubbing urine.
I don't think we can go back yet.
Can I just say, as a general rule of thumb in life, you should never drink something that comes out of a friend or family member. That's just my rule. I'm sorry, you got to have something.
What if they're special friends, though?
That's different. But Hannah East.
Yeah, honestly, it's completely. You 2 look totally disgusted. If I got 5 of my friends in here, obviously I don't produce milk anymore, but. Back in the day,
shot.
And if I said to 5 friends, "Do you want a shot of my breast milk?" They'd be like, "Yeah, why not? I'll warm it up a bit."
Oh, just for the bands?
Yeah, and they'd be like, "Whoa, that's full of nutrients. Feel great."
But that doesn't make it normal. That just means your friends are lunatics as well. That's just like, if I got 5 other members of the cult in here, then they'd be up for it. I don't know what's so wrong with you guys.
You're so disgusting. I'll tell you what, if you have kids in years to come, you'll be like, I know what Hannah meant now. If your partner will be like, do you want some breast milk? You'd be like, yeah.
Probably try it, but I wouldn't be shotting it at a club, Hannah. Like it's a bit different on a night out. Can everyone
stop drinking breast milk? It's just no.
No, I'm saying I'd try it. I'm not saying that I would.
Listen, if I have another baby, I'm going to save some for both of you and you can have some shots of it. It'll be great for your skin and your hair and your nails and...
Well, thank God I'm never invited to any of the things
you won't have any because it'll be Mike. You'll have gallons of the stuff.
I'll just get a soggy Jiffy bag through the post.
Soggy biscuit through the post.
Oh, well, I mean...
Urine. Urine. Go back to it. You were talking about urine.
Look, there was a big fight on the pitch in Nice, Marseille, and I think that's pretty much all you've got to say. Another thing I should say, though, and it's a sad moment for the Premier League, because Xherdan Shaqiri has completed a £9.5 million move from Liverpool to Lyon. He's on a 3-year contract. Hannah, are you sad to see the Premier League's favourite chode go?
Well, favourite chode. What was his reason actually for leaving? He just wanted more matches. Do you want to play more?
Well, I guess he's not getting any playing time, but I love a player who's kind of he's as wide as he is tall, isn't he? And he is a chode. And
he's a square.
Mike, do they have chodes in America? Or do we need to explain what a chode is?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think you probably do need to explain.
So a chode is a colloquial term, I believe it's just British, for a penis that is as thick as it is wide, or certainly significantly thicker than you would expect it to be. So it often gets compared to a Coke can as well. So that's a chode. So look down and you might have a chode. And if you do, it's fine because everything's fine because it's 2021. So whatever, good luck to you.
Apparently that's a lot of girls' preference. Like long and skinny just isn't the way, apparently. So I hear.
What if you've got short and skinny? Do they like that?
Short and skinny, you might as well just give up.
And just go home. Like a portobello mushroom. Nobody needs that. I didn't know what a chode was. I didn't know what a chode was.
Now you know. This is an educational show.
See, I'm so pleased I'm part of this, Joe, because if you hadn't have said that word today, I would never have known what it is. And I think when you said a chode, I went and carried on, but I didn't know what it was. So it's a square penis.
Yeah, or just a noticeably wide willy.
A chunk.
If you like.
I nearly said a wide on. Cut that bit out.
I quite like the idea of a wide on. But I don't know. Yeah, I've heard that the girls like that. Anyway, look, if you are a girl or a guy, whatever, and you prefer a chode to a long one, or you prefer a short, thin one, then do let us know at Rosette
Contact
Soccer on
Joe.
Twitter. Or, yeah, it's like a Dairy Lee Dunker. Or at Rosette Pod. Oh, I've certainly done some dunking. Oh, come on.
In cheese.
Oh, dear.
Hannah.
You've said a Dairy Lee
We didn't need that
Dunker.
extra little bit.
On Instagram. Right.
Oh dear.
Gareth Bale did an interview in The Guardian this week. It was hotly anticipated. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he answered some of life's big questions, including what's your greatest fear? What's your most treasured possession? What's your favourite word? How do you relax? Is it better to give or to receive? And Gareth, as always, lit up the pages of the broadsheet with his sparkling answers. He said his greatest fear is not being the best version of himself in football and in life. When asked who would play you in the film of yourself, he said, I wouldn't want anyone else to play me. It's not getting made then, is it? No one's watching that. Do you know what his guiltiest pleasure is, Hannah?
Tell me.
He likes watching the PGA Tour until late at night.
I mean, the banter in that house. Do you know what stressed me out the most about his whole interview? When he says he doesn't struggle to sleep. He's got 3 kids, hasn't he?
Well, he's in a different wing, I'd imagine.
I imagine he needs to get a taxi to the... Yeah, I imagine his partner would find that really irritating.
Isn't she a criminal? So that might be
Is she? Or is it
slanderous. I can't...
Is it not family members have had a few issues?
Can I... Right, so what I just said was wrong. All right, we don't know, and I'm very sorry. And I didn't mean it. Does that cover us legally, Mike? You've got a journalist degree, haven't you?
No, probably not. You need to...
Okay, sorry, Gareth, and whatever I said was a joke, and I didn't mean it. There you go, that's it. But I thought maybe we could answer some of the questions that he answered in his interview.
Right.
Hannah, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
who would play you in the film of your life?
Oh, somebody like Jim Carrey.
Not Shirley from EastEnders.
Yeah,
That
Shirley
one's
from
already
EastEnders. Nice one. Banter. Or...
She's really upset.
Peggy
at that
Mitchell.
comparison,
Oh, Shirley. Every time I see a picture of her, I think of you two.
Boy, sure.
Awful. But yeah, I think something like Jim Carrey.
What?
Yeah, with a wig on.
Sorry, what?
Jim Carrey with a wig on. He's literally my favourite person on the planet. I think he's amazing. Who would play you, Joe?
Yeah, but right, well, no, hang on. But
Can we be realistic about it, Hannah, please?
Well, to be fair, Ben Kingsley did play Gandhi in Blacked Up, didn't he? So, I mean, but that was the 80s when, like, people weren't like, that's a bit racist. You probably shouldn't do that, Ben. He just did it and won an Oscar. But, so maybe Jim Carrey could get an Oscar.
It could happen. Or Joanne Froggatt. Maybe Joanne Froggatt.
Well, no, but that's too different because you've gone for one person who looks like you and one person who you like because he's in the mask. There's no rhyme or reason. Well, in that case, I'll have Denzel Washington.
Okay. Okay.
What's your guiltiest pleasure, Hannah, apart from drinking breast milk?
Oh, guiltiest pleasure. Oh, well, ask Mike and I'll have a think.
Mike, what's Hannah's guiltiest pleasure? No, what's your guiltiest pleasure?
That's already difficult. There's so many. There's so many.
It's the nature of an interview, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you answer yours first? Give me time to think about it.
Set the tone.
So I quite like getting buckets of fried chicken and eating only the skin and dipping it in mayonnaise.
Oh, Joe.
Do you?
Would you do the rest of the chicken?
He's
well,
vegan.
A little bit of it. But no, but what you do... But what you do, like, so you kind of pull the skin off, then you pull a little bit of chicken off, make like a little skin cigar, dip it in the mayo. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt.
And do you keep the hair on it? On the skin?
They don't have hair. No, KFC, it's done quite well, so they don't have.
Sometimes, though, what would you do if you saw a hair on it? Would you just eat it?
Chickens don't. Do chickens have hairs? They got feathers, haven't they?
Yeah,
I mean, I know they've got feathers.
Yeah, but like you get little bits of hair.
Well, not at KFC. The Colonel's very thorough.
Okay.
With his genetically engineered, horribly treated chickens. I haven't done it for a while, but I do quite like doing that. That's one of my favourite things I like to do.
That's disgusting, Joe.
Well, Hannah drinks breast milk, so we've all got our problems.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we're all trying
Do you
to
have a fear, Mike? Or do you? Oh no, guilty pleasure. Sorry, do you have a guilty pleasure?
So it's probably why I'm so messed up in the head. But when I was at school, I used to eat the Pritt stick.
Did you? And it like
Yeah,
not
like eat chunks of it. Yeah, just like lick it like an ice cream, essentially. Because I was just bored. Like it's not PVA glue. Pritt stick is like a
Yoo-hoo
glue. Yeah. Yeah, basically, it just it tasted like bubblegum, and I just really enjoyed it. Like I can't say I've carried that on into my later life, but at the time.
But also the problem with that is it doesn't alleviate boredom. You're then just bored with glue on your tongue. So it's not like
your mouth
activity
stuck together.
Well, no, but that's just like eating, though, isn't it?
Do you know? Well, no, because that gives you pleasure, and it
didn't give me pleasure at the time. A very twisted pleasure, but pleasure nonetheless.
If we do a rose-ed Christmas party, should we drink breast milk and lick glue sticks and we'll just get thrown out of the vodka revs that we're in?
Take hairy chicken skin in with us.
Do you know what I did used to like though at school? You know when you put your fingers in PVA glue and then as it's semi-drying,
yeah,
and it sort of stretches.
Put your face in it.
Because I sometimes pour candle wax on myself because I like it as it gets a little bit hot and then pull that off.
You can see your fingerprint. Woo!
Or that's lovely that. And I sometimes imagine like I'm a medieval king and I would use that as my seal on a letter.
Okay.
No. Okay.
I get it.
And just finally, Hannah, can I just ask you, is it better to give or to receive?
Well, depends who you're with. Given that I'm...
She's flustered.
Always to receive.
Really? That's quite selfish of you.
Yeah.
Mike, you're a giver,
Depends if it's a weeknight or a weekend and I've had a drink.
It fully depends on the context, but I would say giver most of the time, I have to say.
No matter what, if it's Christmas, birthday, anniversary,
it's all about
whatever,
presents,
Yeah, I'd always rather give. Always rather give that present.
Whereas I, on the other hand, would always rather receive. Selfish bitch.
Well, there you go. I think that is the most perfect point to leave it. That's it for this week. Hannah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you very much.
Cheers.
If you want to get in touch with us, and let's be honest, there's a smorgasbord of things you're going to want to have a look at and dissect and get in touch about. It's Rose-Ed Soccer on Twitter and it's Rose-Ed Pod on Instagram. I'll probably thank you again because I did it the wrong way around. Mike, thank you.
Cheers.
Hannah, thank you.
Cheers.
See you next time.
Bye.